Good evening. My name is Mr. Field. I'm the band director, and we are respectfully requesting permission from the school board to go on a trip to Williamsburg, Virginia in the middle of May. And I have brought 4 wonderful students, Samantha Field, Cheyenne Rebello, Cassidy Ferguson, and Gary Ozier, to give you a little more information about our trip.
We will leave early on Friday morning and arrive in the evening to prepare for our performance at a local high school. Saturday will be spent at Busch Gardens Amusement Park, where the awards assembly will be held. On Sunday, we will head home with a stop in Washington, D.C., with a visit to the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History.
All members of the band are allowed to participate. It will cost each student $453, which includes the hotel, most meals, registration to the festival, overnight security so Mr. Field and the chaperones get some rest, coach bus transportation, and admission to the park.
This trip is not going to cost a penny to the district. We've had 2 fundraisers previously. We had the cookie dough fundraiser and we had the poinsettia sale. And we plan on having more fundraisers in the future. No student is going to be left out of this trip because of financial issues, and this has never been an issue in the past with band trips, with people not going because of finances. Mr. Field feels very, very strongly about this, and I know this because he tells the band quite frequently how important it is, how every single instrument matters, and how every single voice needs to be heard.
And why are we going on this trip? Well, our band will be participating in a competition with other schools from across the country. We have to prepare 3 selections and perform for 2 adjudicators who are college band directors. During our performance, they will evaluate us on all aspects of our performance, including ensemble, intonation, technical facility, tone, production, and interpretation. They provide us with written comments and recorded comments of our performance, which can be used to further educate us in our musical abilities. We will be compared with other similarly sized high school bands. You've seen our trophies. We've won many times. We're pretty darn good, thanks to my dad. We also bond as a group during this experience. We go out to restaurants, visit the park and museums together, and we just have a great time. It's great to make music together. It's been scientifically proven that those who sing, those who play instruments together, those who even dance together, do any art form together, they emotionally bond in ways they don't understand, and that just makes us a very tight-knit group, and we love to be together. And many of us who have attended this trip, we have many memories of trips before, like the Disney trip. I loved that trip. That was so much fun. There are so many high school students who don't get this opportunity to go outside of even New York State, or maybe even the Albany region. Traveling is the most, it's the best experience anyone could ever get in terms of education. You learn about other cultures, you learn about other people, and how to deal with yourself on the street. And I think that this band trip not only educates us about our music, it educates us about the world beyond Canajoharie. And that is our presentation.
Do you have your itinerary in writing and you can give us a copy
Yes.
of that? That'd be awesome.
Yes, I can.
Or 5 copies would be even better.
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
How many students do you have in the band that would be going?
Currently, we have approximately 70. I got 1 more student added today, who's a wonderful young man. So 71, I think. I've never had absolutely 100% of the band go on any of the trips, but the reasons people give for not going has never been due to financial reasons. Sometimes there's been a conflict with, they have sports sectionals that weekend. Some kids just don't feel comfortable traveling, but we get as close to 100% as we can.
So about 70 students.
Yeah.
And maybe I missed it, what's the mode of transportation for this trip?
We're going to be taking coach buses. And everything that the $453 includes everything. the hotel, the security, the buses, admission to the park, admission to any restaurant that we go to, any attractions that we go to, museums, it's all taken care of. The only thing that the students will have to pay for are their own souvenirs and lunches.
The last question I had written down was, how many chaperones and what does that chaperone situation look like?
I open to any parent who wants to go on the trip is allowed to go. I do want to have 7 teacher chaperones go, mostly because being a teacher, they know all of the students, and the students will see them as a teacher. I have had an experience in the past where I did have parents as chaperones, and they really weren't doing the complete job of being a chaperone at that time. So we'll have at least 7 adults on the trip.
Thank you. Those are-
Yeah.
Great.
Go ahead, Rachel.
I forgot who mentioned it, about the fundraising that you've done so far, Gary? And what other fundraising ideas do you have, or?
Well, we have the All-County Festival coming up, and that's going to be held here this year. So we're going to be providing lunch for that. And then the following weekend, I'm still trying to work this out with Mrs. Leverett, but the following weekend is the Odyssey of the Mind, where we provide lunches and foods throughout the day for that competition. That's what we have so far.
What are those dates?
For the trip?
Those two dates. No, they're just-
All County is March 4th, and I believe OM is the 11th, is it? It's the following weekend. Yeah.
We can, so they can go.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the band trip as proposed.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Raise away.
Thank you very much for your time.
Good luck.
At this time, we need to a motion to go into exec to discuss legal matters. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Okay, we're
So
recording.
we can do consent agenda approvals, minutes, budget transfer, and the bills, if you so chose.
That's fine, I'll abstain. I didn't get your-
We need a motion first.
Motion.
Second. Okay,
Sorry,
so.
you seconded me, Cheryl?
I don't like not having those. Discussion on any of the items, first of all.
I did, and I have to find it, I'm sorry,
Okay.
if somebody else has another one. Oh, I found it, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
52329.
On the bills, are you looking at?
bill
Okay.
For New York State School Board, maybe not tonight, but I think we need to discuss
Yeah,
sometime. Is that 14,000?
That is for, remember last year we had that contract that we entered with them for the reduced fees for this year?
Right.
We had somebody come in and do a state aid review. That was part of that contract fee. That the money that they found when they came and did the state aid review, that we would give them 15%. I'd have to go back and look. That was part of a
That's what
contract.
part of
Yeah,
that
that was
was.
what we
Okay.
approved last spring. So then they billed us for the money a portion of the money that they found when they came into the review. That's what that fee is.
Because our yearly fee is only
It's
about
3,000.
3, okay.
Yeah, that was, in order to get that reduced fee, we had them do that review, and then we had to pay them a certain percentage of the money that they found.
And they
So
did
that's
find,
what
they
the
did
payment
find
is.
us, they did save us money.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I thought.
that's what that fee is, that's separate from.
That's not a membership fee.
Right,
That
Yeah.
makes me feel better. All right,
Yep.
that's all.
Okay. Thank you. Anything further? All in favor?
I
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Do we need to do the items to approve? We do. We need to do the Fulton Montgomery Regional Chamber of Commerce contract.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion on this one? Just tell us a little bit about this.
This is through the P-TECH grant, that it's not district money, it's the P-TECH grant money that we use to support a business liaison at the Ag P-TECH. So it runs through the grant, but the board has to approve the contract, because we are the allocator for the grant.
I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the contract, I think it has the wrong year.
Oh, well, that came from the chamber, so we will fix that.
I think, it says, all the way near the bottom, it says that they will pay $29,700 for the year 2016. I think they mean 2017.
Yep,
yeah,
we'll fix
okay,
that, thank you,
all right,
we'll fix that for them before we
Yep.
send it back.
But I
Thank you.
just think we want to pay them for the current year. not-
Yes, we do.
Yes.
It's very
Especially when they didn't do anything for us.
No, last year we paid them for part of the year. Okay, thank you for that. We'll fix that before we send it back to them. Thank you.
Some of those dates are kind of funny.
It looks like a calendar year, but then they have the
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
previous
Yeah.
year as the
Yeah.
year.
Thank you.
Okay, that
Any
was it.
further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Next is the Tennessee Gas Pipeline Pilot Agreement. Motion on this? Motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Further discussion on this? We talked a little bit about this, but you want to
Yep.
go through this again
Yes,
for us?
this is the agreement that, Canajoharie County, they were doing all the negotiations for this for us, and they finally, looked like they settled on this agreement, so instead of, the last one was 10 years, this is 15 years, and the amount went up a little bit compared to the last agreement, and it's gonna go up a little bit every year for the next 15 years, so.
It does change annually?
2%. Yes.
2%, roughly.
Yeah, so our share of the agreement is $10,000, yeah, $10,047,
for this year.
yeah. And then they have the schedule attached of what it's gonna be going forward,
Moving
so,
forward.
yeah.
And you have that, and so we agree on this pilot.
So we have
Now?
to adopt the resolution to agree to the pilot, and then all the other, schools and towns do the same thing so that they can get the agreement.
And it's a 15-year agreement,
Yeah.
so we don't do it again for a long time.
Yeah.
We will agree that, we will at some point next year agree to the dollar amount that's.
No, this is it. This is it.
This-
Because we
this
got
is
$10,000 for this
$10,000,
year, and then it goes up a
2%.
little bit every year for 15 years.
So we won't see this again.
We won't see it again for
15 years
15
unless they renegotiate the plan.
I will never see it again.
I do
Yeah,
Leah might.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Next we have, can we skip the policy
Yes.
stuff?
Yes, we can bring that up.
You know, they'll be there to review and then we'll take another look. Table those until our next meeting.
Table,
We'll do that at our next meeting.
Postpone them.
Postpone to the next meeting?
Yes.
Thank you. Old business, we can postpone.
I would just like to just take a couple minutes on the solar.
I think we should do C.
Okay, let's do the veterans tax exemption. She's got an update for us on that, if you could, please.
The veterans?
Yeah, the veterans.
Yes, please.
Only because we said.
Yeah, we got, the only other information I got back from the county was, they did some kind of calculation and they said if a house assessed at $100,000, if we did a veterans exemption, they could have an additional $25 to $30 if we do the exemption. That's really the only figure that they give me.
100K equals $25?
Yep.
25 to 30.
Yeah, it's in the notes.
If this, in this process, can you just walk through the process with us again? Is it something that if we go ahead and approve this, it has to be brought to a vote first?
Yeah, then we have to
Or
have.
You have to have a public hearing first before the board adopts it. So, and then for an entity who wants to build this in, should you choose to adopt it, there's a March 1st deadline that you have to submit, that the district would have to say, we have adopted this veterans exemption, so we can get it to the taxing entities. So
But it's not a vote, it's a public hearing.
there's a public hearing first before the vote,
Before the
excuse
board
me,
vote.
the- before the
Board
board.
board vote, not a
Yeah.
community.
Correct.
It's not a community vote, it's a
No.
board
And you can
vote.
do it anytime. The March
Yeah.
1st is only to have it for that next taxing
Right, for the
period,
next
like
tax
March
year.
1st for the
September.
September
Right.
taxes.
But you can do that.
So you can do it anytime, it's just, it'll be added the next year. Thank you.
I still think it would be, once we have as firm a figure as we can get, I think it would be worthwhile having an advisory vote along with the tax, the school budget vote.
I agree.
Not
And
that
our
we would be
survey.
bound by, yeah,
Our
not that
survey.
we'd be bound by it, but I would not like to go into this without the community being in favor of it, because I think we'd just be throwing a rope over a limb for ourselves. No, so I mean, and if they're for it, I have no, I'm happy to do it, you know, but I just think we need to, you know,
We really need a
be able
more
to go into
solid
it saying,
number.
the community wants us to do
They
this.
can't do it.
Right?
We don't, I think there's just too much involved to get a really solid.
I think if you put in that type of forum, that it would be, it's approximated by the county that it would be 25 to 30,000 per 100,000 assessed value home. That gives people an idea, that's enough, I think.
$30.
Yeah,
$25 to
$25
per
per
$100,000.
100,000 assessed value. I agree, though, if we don't get public opinion on this, we potentially could have
Right, not just the veterans.
a real riot on our
Yeah,
hands. Yeah.
So maybe we can do that,
Yeah, we could add it to the budget vote survey that we did.
is everybody okay with that?
We need a motion on it?
No, we'll just do it.
We'll just do it.
It's by the exit survey, yeah.
But maybe we can put it out there in the newsletter or whatever,
Mhm.
that the part of the exit survey is, you know, and maybe give the general public some information too about what it means.
And what is it, once this is adopted, it's permanent, right? It's not year and
Pretty
annual.
sure
Yes.
it's permanent.
It's permanent.
I can double check.
So now Waynesburg had I think it was Waynesburg had that they voted against it, and then they didn't pass it. And they voted it, they still had a vote on it, but it failed at the school board after advisory.
And what was it, only Amsterdam has passed it? I mean, it's
Amsterdam,
not
like
like every
Scanny
district has
Atlas
been
or
doing this.
something.
Amsterdam.
Down south.
Amsterdam
Yeah.
School District or?
Yeah, no, Amsterdam
Yeah,
School
school.
District, yes, in our area, it's only Amsterdam.
So I think we would be wise to get public opinion on this.
Yeah. Before we move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's just get an update on the solar energy. That's your department, okay?
Just a quick thought I had that didn't occur to me when we were meeting with Solar City, or when I was giving you a report back on it, is they came up with a new proposal, which would raise our, we have a purchase agreement that raised our per kilowatt hour from 6.7 cents to 9 point something cents, like a 50% increase, because they said the things have changed and so forth and so on. And we would be signing an 18-year agreement with them. And I never thought to ask, well, how'd you come up with this 9.6 cents per kilowatt hour versus the 6 points? So that's a big increase. Are you just zigging us because you can, because you know that things have changed? Or is this the real deal? And we have no way to gauge that, even if they told us that this is really our expenses. You know? So I wanted to just bring it up to get the board's thinking or approval to query Monolith Solar, which is another one that's doing a lot of school installations. They did Fort Plains, for example, So we can contact Fort Plain and ask what they're paying per kilowatt. And just contact Monolith and see if they have a proposal for us. And my starting point would be not to get away from Solar City, but to at least use it as a negotiating thing. If they won't budge and Monolith's ready to come in at 6.7% for the next 18 years, I mean, that's a long time to kind of, tie yourself into that. And if we can, if we
for our okay to do that?
Yeah.
Hello?
Well, I mean, I don't.
You don't need our okay.
No, I mean, I
You've
think
been
we
right
want-
in from the
No,
beginning
but
on
we'll,
this.
we'll want to ask the school district in terms of Gary or somebody to make that outreach. And so I just wanted to make sure we're all in agreement.
Oh,
to do
gosh,
that.
yes.
I think it should be competitive.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason Solar City should have exclusive rights on this deal.
Well, they do have exclusive rights because Eastern New York is Solar City, Western New York is Monolith, based on the K-Solar plan. So we didn't choose Solar City. We were told Solar City, Eastern New York, Solar City. It's just like Price Chopper has Eastern New
Okay.
York. And
How did Fort Plain get Monolith then?
what?
How did Fort Plain get Monolith?
They
then?
didn't do it through K-Solar. They just did-
Gotcha.
They just negotiated with a couple other school districts. So anyhow, I just think that, that we should.
Well, at this point, because everything's kind of
'Cause-
fallen apart, I
and-
think
and-
we need to look at our other
And
options.
the reason I wanted to get this going now is that we're probably gonna be meeting with Solar City at the end of the month.
Right.
And I'd like to have at least some of that information at hand, so at least we could use it as a negotiating thing.
Absolutely.
If not, and maybe we'd be ready to say, well, if you won't come near that, forget about it.
Well, in reality, how soon can you get
Well,
some
I
kind
hate
of
to have to get to
information?
that point, I wanna get this sucker built.
But I mean, in reality, how soon can Monolith even look at what we've got and give us any idea? We don't know.
It doesn't hurt
We
to
don't
ask,
know.
and we could certainly talk to Fort Plain about what they're paying.
Right, in a similar size buildings and whatever.
I don't think they're getting anywhere near the size that we have. I mean, they're not, I think they're doing like 20%, but it doesn't matter, but just, I think
Maybe
we ought to
some
just.
kind of an idea.
Yeah, I think we ought to have something to go in
Okay.
there with,
Sure.
not just their goodwill or faith, you know what I mean? Okay, sorry.
Super, you got, certainly are okay to keep going with this. Hopefully Gary's in agreement. We haven't talked to Gary about it.
We'll talk to Gary tomorrow, he'll be fine.
Okay.
It's all on the spring, Marty said.
So we postponed the superintendent's
Yes.
goal
Yep.
discussion
Yep.
and the other one, right?
Yep,
Yes.
Policy.
yep. Postpone until next meeting. Okay, so we need a motion to move into executive meeting for the purpose of discuss qualification of employment of particular persons and/or deliberations on or discussion of any matter made confidential by federal or state law.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.